Okay, so before we move on to front crawl, we're going to show you something that you can use with your mentees. This is a board that can be found in WITIC that has a bunch of different pictures in the little folder at the bottom right corner, and they have all of the different swimming strokes and different activities you would want to use while in the pool. It has pictures to describe how to do things, and it also has stuff as simple as being quiet and watching and listening if you have a student who might be a little bit nonverbal and respond a little bit better to pictures and words.
Okay, so since we have that, now we're going to move on to the front crawl. The first thing that you want to do with your mentee, if they're not able to complete the front crawl, is you want to have them start on the wall and just perform a basic kick. So I'm going to have Brittany hold onto the wall, and she's going to kick her feet. And one thing that I say when students are doing this is pretend that your brother and sister are behind you and you're trying to get away from them as fast as you can. And another thing that you can do is place a ball that is actually in the equipment area right behind us. Place the ball behind them and tell them to kick the ball as far as away as you can. Once they have the kick down, you want to start with a breathing. Breathing isn't very necessary if the student isn't feel comfortable with their face in the water, but you want to make sure that you're trying to get them to put their face in the water. So one thing that we tell students is to talk to the fish and listen to the fish. So Brittany is blowing bubbles and she is talking to the fish, and then she's going to turn her head to the side and listen to what the fish have to say. And then she's going to talk to the fish and listen to the fish. So once they feel comfortable putting their face in the water, you can put the kick and the breathing in together. So at the same time she's going to be talking and listening to the fish, she's going to be kicking her feet. Okay. So after she has both of those down, he or she, you're going to start with the arms. And stay on the wall to start off. You're going to move one arm at a time in a circular motion. One thing that I tell my students is to reach up to those stars you were looking at in those back float and put it into a bucket. And then with the other arm, you're going to reach up and grab those stars and put it into the bucket. So we're just going to work on the arms on the wall without kicking or without breathing. So she's going to move, get the stars, and put it in the bucket. Take your other arm, put in the stars, and put it in the bucket. So once she has that motion down, you can then put in the kick and the breathing and the arms all together. So we'll see. Great job. Once they are able to complete all those steps on the wall, you then can get some kickboards. And we have a few different types. There's a more basic type of kickboard, or this type of kickboard has holes in it that may be easier for the student to hold on to. So Brittany can pick whatever kickboard she wants to use, and she's going to go back and forth, kicking her feet and talking to the fish, listening to the fish, and using one arm at a time to grab those stars. And another thing that we can also use, if they don't feel comfortable holding onto the kickboard, is it kind of looks like a dumbbell weight. They can hold on with both hands and do the same thing. Or they can use a noodle to help keep them afloat. One thing that if your child has a difficult time keeping afloat and moving their arms, and this kind of gets in the way, is that you can hold onto the mentee's tummy and kind of support them so their body can stay afloat, just like that. But if they're able to use this, that way your hands aren't on the child, you're able to put this right underneath the arms, and that will help them keep afloat. Okay, so since we did that, Brittany is now going to show the front crawl without using the kickboard, because she's been able to master it with the kickboard. She's going to be talking to the fish, listening to the fish, and moving her arms. And one last thing, if your child has a hard time kicking, you can use flippers that are also, all the equipment is in the equipment area behind us.